Gastonia, where police shot and killed a suspect overnight.
WCNC Charlotte's Richard DeVayne arrived at that scene. Richard, what can you tell us? I know you spoke with some family members who didn't want to talk on camera.
Yeah, they were too emotional to speak, and I'm beginning to understand a little bit more why. Good morning to you, Lisa. Good morning, Ben. Good Friday morning, everyone. We're standing here in Gastonia. We're actually on Hickory Hollow Road, the 4200 block, and if you see, there's still some police officers up there. What has been a very traumatic scene for a lot of folks in this community that actually started sometime last night. I spoke with someone who didn't want to show his face, but he describes what he heard. Take a listen to this man.
Okay. Me and my son heard a bunch of gunshots last night around a little after 11. We were watching a movie, and it sounded real bad, and it sounded real close, so it's surprising to see it.
Did you hear like what sounded like the shots that you heard? Was it from one gun, or did it sound like
multiple guns? Multiple guns.
Did you hear something start first? How can you describe what you heard? What did it sound like?
It sounded like a bunch of gunshots. I don't know exactly how it came.
So would you say one gun or multiple?
Multiple. At least two guns. At least two guns. I heard at least 10 shots last night.
And to know one of your neighbors is dead?
Surprising. Really. I didn't think that was going on in this neighborhood.
Yeah, a lot of folks saying they didn't think that was going on in the neighborhood, but we also spoke to another neighbor just a short time ago who kind of shed some more light onto what happened here. According to police, they say there was a standoff, something that happened when they were called out to this house. We spoke to one neighbor who says that the neighbors right next to where this all happened that said that there was a person who appeared to be a veteran, or who is a veteran, we should say, and appeared to be suffering from PTSD. And they said he had some high-powered rifles. They talked about a standoff for hours. The person we spoke with actually had said that he was hoping that that man would eventually give up and put his weapon down, but he didn't. Instead, it was a high-powered, high-capacity rifle, we're told, that he shot at officers, and they, of course, had to return fire, striking and killing that man, who neighbors have told us, a couple neighbors, that now that he is a veteran. Tragic situation. Of course, we're going to get a lot more information from the police department. They plan to hold a news conference a little bit later. We'll come back in a little bit and we'll listen to that person who tells us some of what he heard and what he saw, and about that man who the police also terming a suspect, the person who lost their lives. The SBI is also investigating this shooting, as is customary whenever an officer discharges his weapon in the line of duty and kills somebody. Also, the person who does that usually is placed on administrative leave pending that investigation. We'll talk to some more neighbors. We'll have some more information for you. But that's the situation right here in Gastonia. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Yeah, and Richard, more on that just for a moment. That you talk about standard operating procedure, whether it's Gastonia or CMPD or really any police force, there's sort of a standard protocol that these departments go through in a situation like this.
Yes. That is absolutely correct, Ben. There's always an internal investigation from whatever police department or whatever entity it is. They conduct their own investigation. But the SBI, the State Bureau investigators will come out and they'll do one that is independent of that. They'll get all the information, they'll get all of the evidence, and they'll put it together. They're also investigating to make sure that there was a reason for deadly force or whatever, and they investigate. That way, it's an independent investigation that goes on. These two parallel investigations usually can take some time sometimes, but they'll have their results for us, and that's important to let folks know, that officers in different municipalities have to have someone who oversees them. And another thing you said that's standard is the fact that whatever officer discharges their weapon and kills someone is placed on administrative leave. That's procedural because of the fact that it's administrative leave. They're paid for it. It's because of the fact that they just want them off the street, so to speak, while they conduct this investigation. Also, it gives them a chance, because taking a life, no matter what, if you're trained for it or not, is still a major undertaking. And from years of experience, from just having family members who are police officers, whenever you have to discharge your weapon and take a life, you do have to go through all types of interdepartmental things like psych evaluations, just to make sure you're okay, and talking to people and counseling and things of that nature. So there's a lot of things that we don't see that goes on that police officers officers have to go through. And in situations like this, where something as tragic as this, we did hear from a spokesperson from the police department this morning who tells us that as bad and as tragic as this was, it could have been a whole lot worse. And now we know from hearing about the weaponry that the person apparently had in his house. Of course, we'll have much more on this throughout the day. We're right here in Gastonia, guys. We'll send it back to you.
We know that you're going to stay on that scene for us, Richard. Any idea when we may be able to get more information either from SBI or from Gastonia about the incident this morning?
As SBI won't have any ideas. I don't think we'll have something today. We will hear from the Gastonia Police Department. They do plan to have a news conference, and I'm hearing that it'll be sometime in the early to mid-morning hours. So when we finish the streaming here, we'll head over to the police department. We spoke to the spokesman a little bit earlier, and he told us that sounds right. We'll come over there sometime after 9, 10. We don't know what time, but of course, whenever we do, as Ben mentioned earlier, we will have that live on our stream. So we will have that information, and folks who tune in or stay with us, you'll be able to catch it. The second we hear it, you'll be hearing it as well.
Here on WCNC Plus. All right, Richard, thanks so much for that live report.
As we've learned more, clearly painted a picture of tragedy there in Gastonia
For sure.
overnight.